Okay?
Yes, sir.
No, not sir. That,
Okay.
I'm old enough without that help.
All right, it's 9 a.m. If you'll stand for the pledge. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning. Welcome to this Tuesday, June 7th Board of Commissioners meeting. First item of business is public comment, which would be for anyone that is not on the agenda. So open it up to that. Yes, sir. If you could come to the podium, that'd be great. Give us your name, and be glad to speak with you for a few minutes. Okay. Hold on, we need to turn it on first, sorry.
Sorry. We usually get that before.
Going?
Yep.
My name's Bob Lane. I live at 242 West County Road 200 South. We've got a couple of issues out there. One of them is the speed from 39 to Kirkland Brick. If you go west, it's 30-mile-an-hour speed limit. If you go east, there's no speed limit. No
Okay.
signs. I talked to a deputy one day. They was working radar at Green Lawn. And he said he couldn't do anything unless I come up here and ask him to post a sign. Another problem is we have a granddaughter that stays with us quite a bit, and she's legally blind. If she goes across the road, she can't even see the highway. And that's due from a bad car wreck, but you know, when they turn east, I mean, they're on a hammer. And I wanted to see about if it's possible to get a speed limit sign posted down through there.
Well, the first step we have to take is we would have to do a feasibility study, speed study on the road. And then the study will guide us in terms of what the speed limit is. So since it's unposted, it's 55 right now, I believe is what
I
you're
realize
telling me.
that.
So, I guess,
I think there used to be a sign out there when I moved out here in 1990. I think there used to be a sign there years ago, way down by the bridge, but there's nothing there now. I don't know if that was something, you know, that was tore down over the years or.
yeah.
But and with the construction in Frankfurt, it's even worse now.
I imagine.
That's the fast way around town.
Yeah. the only
That's one issue
the
I
only
have.
way around town.
We could probably look into see if there was a sign. I don't know if we have records of historically of when something was posted that we can look into and find, but our first option to even change the speed limit would be we'd have to do the speed study. At that point, get a recommendation from the engineer on that, and then we'd be able to make the appropriate decision at that point. So,
Go ahead.
no, you have a second item?
Yeah, the bridge that's got a real bad bump on each side. I called the county last year. I called them again this year to see if there's something they could do, you know, and it's to me, it'd be kind of a simple fix, just laying blacktop out about 4 feet on each side, and that would take that out of there, but they always say they'll look at it.
Yeah,
Still there.
we can have them look at it. So every, I believe it's every year, at least every other year, we have a bridge assessment done. So they look at all of our bridges and highlight any of those issues. So we try and just target the priorities of the major issues that we have going on. I don't remember that one being highlighted, but I can't remember every issue that's been brought up in the book. So we can discuss that with County Highway and have them take a look. I mean, the one thing I would say is if it's kind of humped like that, it almost would be acting as a natural deterrent of the speed, which is your first complaint. So, you know, if we fix that, are they gonna continue to speed more down that road until we get it posted? And at that point, even if we get it posted, it all determined it's about enforcement, and that'll be the challenge that we have secondly with it, is the enforcement of the speed. But I'll open it up to these guys if they have any comments or questions.
I think it's worth looking into. I think, either see if one that was posted years ago, that would be a help if it was, obviously.
Yeah.
We can
And
check
if
it
not,
out.
I would suggest if not, if we can't find anything, and maybe even if we do find something, let's go ahead and have Rick and Mike, I'm sure you guys can help us with a speed study again like we did down on Antioch Road. And there's a fairly quick turnaround on that. I think that one, we had it done within, 45 days and had a
Yeah.
decision made. So unfortunately, it does take some time, but thank you for bringing it to our attention.
When they go east, I hear when
bet.
they cross that bridge.
I'll bet
down
you
there
do.
from my house. I'm third house off the highway.
Yep, I know right where you're at.
Yeah,
So,
so. The other item I had was the potholes down there.
yeah,
They was down there working one day around Kirkland Brick, filling potholes, and I said, hey, you got 4 potholes right down there, and they said, we can't go down there without a work order. I said, man, you're a block away.
okay.
And they're one of them's 3 foot long, all of them's about a foot wide. They're about 3 to 4 inches deep.
Yeah, everybody's got potholes.
Yeah.
Yep. But we'll put it on the list.
Okay, appreciate it.
Yep, so that's
Okay.
kind of
Thanks,
the
Bob.
plan for you, is we'll look into, see if there was a speed limit posted historically there. If we can't find something, then we'll engage a speed study, and that, like Josh said, that should take about 45 days or so.
Concern over my granddaughter.
Yeah.
because
Do you have a, bit-
She can't see that door from here.
Yeah.
And she goes across to the church with her son a lot. They're in the church parking lot, so that's one of them.
do you have a business card or something, or a way for us to reach out to you?
I don't have business.
Or you have, you don't have to say your phone
Yeah,
number in
would
front of
you
everybody if you
check-
wanna.
I can give you my number.
Okay,
Maybe write it down.
Yeah, just.
Come down here and
Yeah.
Stephanie can write
Yep.
it down for us, and then
Thank
we
you,
can
Mr.
reach
Lane.
back out to you. Okay. Next up is Phil Triplett with the vacation of an alley in Hillisburg. Good morning, Phil.
Good morning. Do you all have a copy of the petition?
Yes.
yes.
All right. I'm here to represent Robert and Teresa Parrott, who bought a house last year out in Hillisburg. And next to their house is a 12-foot alley. And they would like to build a fence around their yard, and we're hoping to build the fence out into the alley. So they spoke to the neighbors, and the neighbors were fine. You should have also received the consent from the neighbors to vacate that alley, where the neighbors would receive the east 6 feet and the Parrots would receive the west 6 feet. The attached as Exhibit A to the petition is a copy of the plat, and there's basically 2 north-south roads on both sides. Hillsburg's pretty small, and there's lots of easy ways to get around, so it shouldn't really impact anyone else. So they would ask that you vacate the alley. Mr. Parrott was hoping to be here this morning. He had a dental procedure yesterday and wasn't feeling well this morning, so he wasn't in, but I'm happy to answer any questions you got.
I don't have any.
I have
Pretty
none.
self-explanatory.
I have
So,
none.
it would
Is there a
be,
resolution?
the ordinance would be 2022-05 for the vacation of the alley.
All right, I'll make a motion that we pass ordinance 2022-05.
And I would second that motion.
Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Phil.
Thank you all.
Thanks.
There's one copy to sign,
Yeah.
just, okay.
Yes, sir.
Next up is Rick Anderson with Verigy for a presentation for us.
Thank you, sir.
You just want a good crowd this morning.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
in Switzerland County last time when there was 3 people, so I don't think everybody's here to hear me.
Thanks.
Yeah, right. Nice to meet you. Nice to see
Yep.
you.
Thanks, sir.
The attorney. Oh, thank you very much. So good morning. Rick Anderson with Verigy. We put together energy conservation programs for counties, cities, airports, libraries all over the state. There's legislation in the state of Indiana, IC-36-1-12.5, allows you guys to go out and do these guaranteed savings projects via an RFQ, RFP process. The whole idea with these is they're budget neutral or better. So we're not coming to you asking for new money to do these projects. You're already spending the money. We're just trying to spend it for you more efficiently and get you some infrastructure improvements to that. So first little handout I gave you, it talks about some of the things we look at. lighting, HVAC, water. We do quite a bit of solar. So I gave you a couple of case histories behind that. We've done the Hamilton County Justice Center with solar, quite a large solar project. And I gave you the city of Shelbyville's as well, where we impacted 15 different sites down in Shelbyville with solar, did some HVAC, did some street lighting, did all kinds of other stuff. So the really compelling thing to think about is the utility situation in Indiana. So we're still regulated here. All the states around us, Ohio, Michigan, Illinois, are all deregulated. So they can go buy their power from various sources. We're kind of stuck with who we're stuck with. But all we're trying to help you do with these projects is help you get more energy independent. You're never going to be able to totally rid yourselves of the utility companies, but we're trying to get you a little bit more independent. So typically the way this thing works is we do an assessment where we come and look at your utility bills and then also do a facility walkthrough of all your facilities. I'll come back to you with a report. It'll take me about 6 weeks to get the information together and back to you. There's no cost to the county to do that. And we'll come back and say, okay, guys, here's the report, here's some recommendations. What do you think? If you guys like what we come back with, there's an advertisement, and then I provide the RFQ for you if you'd like. A lot of times, the county attorney, it's pretty boilerplate stuff, so you can add, subtract to it, or whatever else. Typically, if an architect or engineer comes in and wants to do this for you, he's going to charge you $20,000 or $30,000 to do that. We're basically doing it at no cost to the county.
Questions? Comments?
Timing's bad, I think, at this point for us.
We have a lot of projects going on or potentially going on here in the near future, so, but I guess I do want to clarify, the assessment would be no cost to be able to do kind of the facilities, and what facilities would you look at?
All county facilities,
county
so,
facility.
here, jail, county garage, I mean, any county facilities, that got any kind of utility bills, we look at.
I don't have an issue with going ahead and having the assessment done.
And, yeah, so essentially, whether we act or don't act on the assessment recommendations, we're bound financially to nothing.
Nope.
Correct?
No, I typically ask people, though, if you're gonna go to the RFQ or the advertising.
Yeah.
Do something then, but no,
Right.
you're not bound to do
Yeah.
anything, based on the assessment.
I think Parkview and
Pretty
Sheriff
extension.
and the extension.
Yeah.
I would think it'd be a waste of time to do the courthouse or the Regions Bank building.
Probably, I think we could compile a list of our county buildings to look at that would, I guess, best be served in terms of energy utilization. So I'm okay with that. I guess we would maybe entertain a motion to have Verigy do a utility assessment.
So moved.
Second then, that.
All right,
Who would I, work with to get the utility information?
that would be Jerry.
Gotcha. Okay.
Texton, our-
Yeah, we met, she's your
Yep.
assistant, okay,
So,
awesome.
if you work with her, and
Yep.
we'll go, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us, but we'll look forward to seeing what you produce here.
Perfect, thank you guys very much.
Thanks, Rick.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Next up is Luke Williams, who is the site manager for the Hardy Hill Solar Project. Good morning, Luke.
Morning.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, sir.
Morning,
So
Luke.
brought a couple people with me. More here just to introduce myself. I brought some business cards. I will be the acting site manager for Hardy Hill Solar, north of town here. More here as just a, act of goodwill to come and talk to, meet everybody, introduce ourselves. Brought along my project manager and our acting, civil superintendent.
Okay.
That will be here. Danny will be on site at all times. So he'll be any concerns with roads or any civil matters out there, he'll be the guy you talk to. So I'll give you, he doesn't have any cards with him today, but I'll give you my cards. You can reach out and talk with him. So that's really all our spill for today.
How's the project progressing?
It's been slow here at the beginning. Obviously, we have a lot of weather, rain delays, so it's starting slow, but it's going to pick up here pretty quick. More or less trying to appease a few of the landowners out there that we're causing issues with. So trying to mitigate any county issues of the residents that are not involved with the project. So
We appreciate that.
yeah.
So I guess from a timetable, are you on schedule or behind schedule or where?
Right now we're a few weeks behind, but it's going to pick up here pretty quick.
Okay. All right.
You might explain, Luke, a little bit of what's gonna come in the next couple weeks, if you would.
So in the next few weeks, our biggest item right now is we're building our main laydown yard. So off of County Road 50 there, be a lot of rock and civil heavy equipment coming and going from that area. So biggest deal is working with you guys and trying to keep all the patches in the road going.
Yeah.
As of right now, that's kind of the plan, is to continue to work with you guys and get any issues that arise during that.
Is there a designated route for the truck traffic?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I could get that guy to you guys.
Yeah, if you could, that'd be great. I know I get to ask that question, so we'll at least be able to provide the
Yeah.
information to
I
them,
could get that
so.
for sure.
Yeah. So, all right.
Have you met most of our other county people
I
yet,
have
or
not,
Luke,
no,
or
sir.
might be, I don't know what your timing is, but it might,
We've got a meeting at 10 here that
Good.
we gotta get to, so.
yeah, well, I'm sure all of our county departments that are working with you can reach out to you then, and,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
I've
get
got
with you.
a stack of cards here I'll leave with you, and
Good.
anybody that needs, please feel free to reach out. Doors open anytime.
Okay. Great. Any other questions?
Good to go.
All right.
Yep.
Thank you.
you, guys.
Thank you for coming.
Luke, thank you. Thanks, gentlemen. See ya.
Next up is Beth Keeney with a bulk user agreement. Or maybe it's plural, agreements.
That's right, agreements.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it might be, yeah.
Yeah.
Got some time, so I'd probably-
Good morning.
Yeah.
I'm the recorder, and we sell images to companies. We've been doing this for several years, and back in April, we were able to get an ordinance passed to raise the price from 13 cents to 20 cents per image. So that was ordinance 2022-03, I think. So anyway, I have to do new agreements and get them signed. And so I'm asking if the commissioners will sign these agreements for me to get out to the companies and then get them back and start charging them at a higher rate as of June 1st. We advertised the ordinance and in the paper and waited the 30 days. And I did add one more. I had sent you 4, but there's one more that I sent.
Okay.
So if you would be able to sign those, I can move forward with that.
Everybody does, yeah. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the bulk user agreement.
So moved.
Second.
Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Beth.
Thank you.
Give me a minute, because there's a few of them.
Yeah.
Next up is Rick Campbell with Highway Update. Good morning, Rick.
She tricked me.
Gotta make sure you look right.
Started in the meeting that 200 South gets paved this year. That bridge would be smoothed out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's part of the
Yes,
community crossings, isn't it?
yes. Right now, I have an agreement here with USI for Bridge number 30, engineering assessment. I need the commissioners to sign so they can get started on that. That's on 900 West, between 550 North and 700 North. And I also have a supplemental agreement with BSF, and it's for the State Road 28, 800 West, good oil when it needs the CAD notes.
Okay,
So I brought that too.
so we'll back up a little bit. So we have the agreement for the engineering assessment of Bridge 30, which would be getting the assessment to apply for the federal aid for this bridge.
You have it there?
We do, yep.
Okay.
And this would be with USI Consultants.
Yes.
Okay, so it's first, any questions, or if not, then I'll entertain a motion to approve the engineering assessment for Bridge 30 and contracting USI Consultants.
Out of curiosity, what's the expense or cost for that?
$5,000 for the assessment for them to do the bridge assessment.
Have we ever paid for a bridge assessment before?
Yes.
Yes, we have,
We have.
yes,
With who?
USI.
USI. So they did the bridge assessment for Bridge 21, correct, Josh?
Yes.
21, yeah.
Motion to approve.
Rick, is that
Yeah.
what you want to do too? Is that, okay. Second?
Second, motion carries 3-0. Second,
I just wanted to be Butler Fairman, the supplement agreement.
yeah, I think we need to wait on that.
Okay. All right. That's all I have.
There still needs to be some discussion on if we're gonna move forward with that or not, so
All right. That's fine.
we'll wait on that
All right.
and maybe bring it up at our
All I
next
have.
meeting.
Thank you.
So Rick, would your records have, just back to 200 South, anything about the speed limit? If there was one posted, or, I mean, is there a place to
I
look for
don't,
that?
I don't have any records of that.
Okay,
I could look into it.
all right,
I'll look into it, and if there is, I'll get something up.
okay. And I guess to circle back, should we,
Just want to go ahead and tell them.
that's what
Yeah.
should we do a motion to move forward with the speed study for 200 South? Is that what you?
So moved.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Second.
Motion carries 3-0 to move forward with the speed study for 300 South. Or 200 South, I apologize.
East of State Road
East
39.
of State Road 39, between 39 and Kirkland Break. Next up is Liz Stitzel, area plan update. Morning, Liz.
Good morning. Just odd question. On the question about the speed limit sign, how far back would you have expected that speed limit to have been posted had there been one? It's just an odd question. We have some three-dimensional imagery, through the last 5 or 6 years that we could go back and see if there's any kind of,
I
but
would say between now and 1990, because that's when he said he moved in, so that'd
Okay.
be the time period I believe we'd be looking at.
Okay.
I don't know, I've never recognized the speed limit sign on that road that I'm aware of, so.
yeah, I don't recall one either, but I was thinking if there was something in imagery, maybe it would be.
Yeah.
But only the 3D would have that, because obviously the two-dimensional is just from above,
Yeah.
so. I have a couple items
It's most speed limits.
in the topic of mowing for
Okay.
you gentlemen today. So, your mowing ordinance states that when, in certain zoning districts, it's a case-by-case, what the commissioners decide as to whether we cite it or not. So we've got 2 complaints that have come in that are in this category, where it would require commissioner direction to move forward. So one of them is over on Hamilton Road, right before the curve, as you're going north on the east side. There's a single wide trailer there and tall grass, and I'll just let you pass this picture through so you can kind of see where that's located. It is zoned agriculturally, which means we only mow on a case-by-case basis, subject to the commissioner's direction. Cat Bell, my zoning administrator, says that the grass is pretty tall.
So it's what normally would have been a yard?
There is
A
a single
lawn.
wide mobile home there, yes, so,
Is it occupied?
potentially.
Okay.
That's, We're not sure just yet.
No,
We're,
okay.
however, as long as it has had utilities continuously, it would not be banned from being occupied. Now, if it has lost its utilities for more than a year and had not had electric and someone's squatting there, then that's a different issue we'll follow up on as well.
Sorry.
But
Oh, you're fine.
I'd say that mow it, or site it. If they don't mow it, then we'll mow it. Is that how it works?
Yep.
They get
Yeah, we would send a citation out,
certified
post
mail.
it. They get, I believe, 10 days in which they can mow it. If we go back and it's still not mowed at 10 days, then we send it to the mower. It usually takes a few more days before he gets out and gets it mowed. Then we send a bill, and if they don't pay that, we post a lien.
Those are my thoughts.
I'm fine
Tom
with
helps
that.
with that.
Good.
Okay, yep.
Okay.
You have another one?
I do.
All right.
Got busy all of a sudden. And I think the weather got nice and everyone got out and mowed, and then
Yeah.
everyone noticed the lots that didn't. So, the other one, this is industrially zoned. It's kind of in the same category of case by case. This sits, over by Castles. It's one of the houses. There's, I don't know, maybe 10 houses and, trailers that sit there between the Jimmy John's and
Sure.
Castles. They are all zoned heavy industrial, despite the fact that they look like they're homes. And logically so, because someday we would hope to see business development through that area. But we do have a complaint on one of them not being mowed. And here again, I'll got a print off that indicates the lot in question.
Jimmy John's,
Yep.
Castles.
I'm okay taking
Yeah.
the same action as
Same.
the
Same
other
route.
one,
Exactly.
so.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Perfect. We will follow up on both of those. I believe that's everything that I had in my very small pile, unless you have anything for me.
I do not.
Good.
No man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, we will move on to old business. First item is, last meeting, we opened the bids for the community crossings grant projects. And so we've had time to review and look at those, and so we will make a decision on moving forward with those projects. Rick, do you have anything, or is there someone from? Okay, so, I see that real quick, Jerry, I'll run through it. The low bidder was Midwest Paving, which is who BFNS and Rick have advised us to select. The bid was $1,829,642.78, and the community crossings grants for $1 million, so we're in for $829,000 roughly. I've looked at Rick's budget and worked with him. He has the ability to absorb that to pave these three projects, which is how many miles of road? Do you remember? 6 miles, roughly 6 miles of road. So, is there any other questions?
I have none.
I don't.
I'll entertain a motion to accept the Midwest paving.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Carries 3-0 to accept Midwest paving for the community crossings project. Next up is the McGuire Iron Pay App number 6. So I don't know that we have to do a motion on this, but it was in our docket. They're roughly 60% done with the water tower. And this is just, every month we receive a bill for work progress, so this is the month of May's progress, so.
I'll make a motion, we approve the pay app number 6 for McGuire Iron.
And I'll second that.
Motion carries 3-0. Lastly, at least maybe 2 meetings ago, we had granted the utility easement for the sewer at the new police station out there right off of 28. And so this was the document to sign to grant that utility easement. We've already,
Just need to sign it.
yeah, we just need to sign it. I talked to Tom, there's no place to sign, so do we just, want us just to make some lines and sign?
Yeah, is that the easement? What you can do is just, you can have the board authorize you to sign on behalf of the board, and I'll notarize it.
Yeah.
That way you just have one signature.
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion carries 3-0. All right, new business, we already addressed with the agreement for bridge number 30, so we'll move on to department heads. Any department heads that would like to go? First up, Chris. Steven, you can be second.
Yeah, morning, gentlemen.
He put that hand up real quick.
Real
so-
fast. Now, just a couple things real quick. The water softener in Parkview is 20-plus years old. They finally Band-Aided it, but they're coming out to give me a quote. They said around $3,000. I've got the money in the budget, so we'll look at doing that, but I'll email you guys like I normally do. Second thing is that boiler's probably 30-plus. TL, Myers, and Jim's, I try to go local. Too big of a project. They don't want to fool with it.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to go out to Lafayette and Indy. I do have Irish Mechanical gave us a bid. They did double a redundant, which I don't think we need. If we get a highly efficient one, we need one. So I'm trying to get them to rework the quote, but it was around 140, so you cut that in half, we're looking at about 70 grand. That boiler's been Band-Aided for decades by Irish. And we just lost our guy, 20-plus years. He retired, the one that kind of works with us. So we got a new guy coming in, but just so you guys are, I don't know how we go about this. I don't know if budget time, we look at it, if I got some viable quotes, and maybe try to put it in the budget next year, if we do something different. We're good now until winter, and obviously we start cranking up again. So,
Well, I think that'd be our challenge is going, we need it for winter.
yeah.
And if we
I
put
think
it-
we're good.
You think we're good through it?
Yeah, but it's time to look. So I'm getting quotes now, and if we can't do it this year, then maybe put it on the budget for next year.
Yeah, I would agree. I would also maybe suggest looking at Amoresco because that's who we're
Okay.
utilizing through Envoy for the chillers here and then the boilers at the jail. So, I mean, I can initiate that conversation with them.
Yeah, let's do that, if you would.
They're already doing work here.
Yes,
so
that'd be
maybe we would
perfect.
be able to streamline that into getting a more efficient price
Okay.
since they're already going to be here doing work and
I
can
agree.
look at that one.
No, I
So,
appreciate it.
I'll connect with them and I'll include you on the email so
No,
that
thank
they
you.
can communicate with you.
Yeah,
It'll at least be an
it's
additional
fine.
quote. So,
Okay.
Chris, do you think, I mean, if that dies this winter, what do we do?
Bunch of space heaters. No, I don't know. We'll figure it out. I always figure it out. But I don't think we're at that point. It's just that he keeps Band-Aiding this thing, and he was telling me year after year, we gotta look at it, and we did. But now it's time to go ahead, and it's not like it's gonna die. But it's time. If we're gonna keep that building going and keep it efficient, we put a fire alarm system in it, we're trying to keep it updated. It's time to make a move.
Just want to make sure it's not to the point where it dies and we've got no back.
Well, if we do, I'll figure something out, Bert. I guarantee you, my people will not be.
Space heaters won't work.
No, that was a joke. We'll figure something out.
Yeah. good.
But I'm not that concerned.
Okay.
They've kept it going this long, but again, how long, we don't want to press
Right.
our luck.
yeah, we found that out at the courthouse with the.
Well, there you go.
chiller, So.
Yeah, well, our people would come up here, Brett, you got room in your office, so we just hang out with y'all all day. Yeah,
Good point.
anyway. And the last thing, the elevator, Bert, I know you're working on that. We're a go if we work on switching that.
Okay.
Price-wise, I think it makes sense, and the contract is a good deal.
One
so-
that we have.
Yeah, but I'll wait on you.
Yeah,
Just let me
good.
know. All right, thanks, guys.
Yep. All right. Next up, Stephen. You were. Morning.
Couple quick things. We discussed at the last commissioner meeting about the movement of ambulance 7 out to Forest and creating ambulance 13. Just last time, I know we kind of sprung it at the end, so I brought some statistics. So ambulance 7 has been requested 667 times since January 1 of 2020. And per our charting system, which goes back to 2018, they have responded 39 times. So that's a 5.8% response time. I think Forest, they have more EMTs currently active today, and I think with the response rates that we get with Rescue 13, I think that it's fair to say we're going to see our ambulance utilized more out there than we currently do in Michigan. So, and then with the move of the ALS ambulance to Boylston, you know, I think it's best for our resources to kind of be dispersed a little bit more than right on top of each other.
Yeah, he brought it to us last time. We're waiting until you were here. And
No, that's fine, yeah,
So-
we've talked about that. Greg and I met with Chief Alter.
Yep.
from Forest, and they actually requested, you know, they want it. They want to staff it, and they're very, very, very adamant about getting it and interested in that. So we were there was some question about whether the Northeast Volunteer Ambulance Service needed to be dissolved or it needed to be absorbed into the fire department. And I think, you know, that's something that you and Chief Alter can work out. In my mind, the simplest thing was just to move the truck. There didn't need to be any dissolution of any organizations or anything like that. It was simply putting it in a different station. It's still the northeast part of Clinton County, whether it's in Michigan Town or whether it's in Forest. So
Yeah.
that would be my only input on that. But I think it's the right move, strategically, tactically. You know, it's the best place for it. So
Okay.
yep.
So it'll transition from ambulance 7 to ambulance 13, is that right?
Yep. Yeah, that will be the responding unit. And I don't know what Karen Fairclough and Stace have worked out in regards to the specifics of personnel responses. I know we had a call up to Forest last month, and Station 7 personnel responded with them.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if they're going to continue to respond as like a mutual agreement. I assume it probably will work that way, though.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Well, I'll entertain a motion to move
So
forward.
moved.
And second.
Ambulance 7 moving to ambulance 13 and being stationed in Forest. Motion carries 3-0.
So moved.
Yeah.
Second.
All right.
Also want to let you know, our new vents have arrived, so we have training next week for 3 days on them, and then all 4 of our pre-hospital ambulances will have vents on the trucks that will enable us to provide non-invasive and invasive ventilation to our patients in a safer, more effective manner. We've also hired 2 new medics, Dolores and Cyrus. Dolores is a critical care flight nurse and paramedic, and then Cyrus is a critical care flight paramedic as well. They're both part-time. Cyrus has said that he wants to work full-time hours, though. So that will fill our gap a little bit. And then Bethany Eisenberg is also transitioning. She just passed her National Registry exam
That's awesome.
yesterday. So she will go from EMT to paramedic. So we will have 11 full-time, which leaves us short 3. So, and then with Cyrus, if he does continue to work full-time hours for us, we're only short 2.
Baby steps.
Baby steps.
It'd take time, but you're moving in the right direction, so it's
Trying.
good.
Yeah, getting closer. And then paramedic program, I know we've discussed that. We have found a program head. Dolores will be it. And then also we have a medical director through Stephanie Gardner. We have a meeting with her on Friday to finalize that. And then Clinton County EMS is going to be getting a new medical director. His name is Nathan Marcinkowski. He is through IU. And we've emailed back and forth. He has interest in participating in the paramedic program as well. So.
What's the timing of the paramedic program?
So I have a meeting today with Ivy Tech and Kokomo. So we have to get COAMPS accredited, and for the easiest way for us to do it is to form an articulation agreement with Ivy Tech that guarantees graduates of our program college credits through Ivy Tech.
Okay.
Ivy Tech already grants credits to certified paramedics as it is. So logistically, it shouldn't complicate things too much. But I have a meeting that we'll know yes or no today, actually at 2 p.m. So I can shoot you guys a text and let you know. If not, we'll have to go through the state of Indiana and become a accredited secondary education institution.
So if they say yes, how soon will you start?
October to January
Okay.
of this year,
All right.
I think. Yep. So Dolores and I are already working really hard on forming a curriculum and hashing out all the other necessities for the program. So
Very good.
How long will the program last then?
15 months
15 minutes.
is what we're planning on.
Remind me of how many students you want to have in the program.
10 to 20 would be great.
Okay, that's what, I was thinking 15 in my mind, but
Yep.
I wanted to double check.
That's all I have. Do you guys have anything for me?
I'm good.
Do not. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Stephen.
Ray.
Morning, Ray.
How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Fantastic.
There you go. He's wonderful.
Boy,
Yep, I'm-
that's
well, I
amazing
was.
here. What's the, must be the weather, huh?
I'm taking that personally.
No.
Courtesy copy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Just to let you know what I'm up to. step in the process. I'm working with a company called Fiddler. They are all things records management. I've been wanting to do this for a while, but quite haven't found the right fit until I spoke to these fine people the other day. It's an online records service. What they will do for us, free of charge, is allow us to allow the public to request online documents and allow the public to pay for those. We'll get the request, public pays for them, then we can go ahead and get whatever they need certified if need be and send it out to them,
Okay.
either through the mail or through FedEx. So it's a month-to-month contract. If it doesn't work for us, we can go ahead and cancel it.
Okay.
If it does, we can go ahead and keep it. I'm also interested in using this company. I've already spoken to and gotten quotes, which I've sent to the council and commissioners from 2 other companies about scanning, imaging, and microfilming our documents. That has run quite the gamut in cost. I've spoken to these people, they can do the same thing. So I'm going to get a quote from them and
Okay.
see if it can come in. I told them where I wanted to be, so hopefully they can get us into that lower end, and we can get the ball rolling on that. Hopefully, we can get that started while I'm still in office, but that is yet to be seen. They really want to get this, well, spoke to them last week. They've gone ahead and given me this contract. We can go ahead and get this started probably by the end of this week, as long as I get this signed. Any questions?
Well, I would like to review it. I hate signing a contract that I haven't seen.
Okay.
So if you'd be
second
willing to
that.
wait until next meeting, that would be my preferred choice.
Oh, when's your next meeting?
21st, I believe.
21st of this month?
Yeah.
I would second that same thought.
So that would be my opinion on it.
When do you need it by?
ASAP? So, I mean, obviously, there's nothing I can do if you guys want to wait, but,
Well, I mean, we
Can we
waited
give-
this long, so I guess, what's the harm in 2 weeks?
well, I just want to get some things finished. I want to get things up and going. You know, we have people calling and emailing all the time, wanting records, wanting to get those paid online. We have waited this long, but it is a huge inconvenience for people. I just want to get it done.
Okay.
But if you guys want to wait, my hands are tied.
I want to wait.
Okay.
Just, I need to review the contract. Anything that I'm signed, typically I like to at least have looked at it a little bit before, so. We will, unless I get outvoted, I would,
No, you guys already.
okay,
We're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
so, we'll review it and plan on moving forward at our meeting on the 21st.
All right.
All right,
All right, thanks.
thank you.
Yeah.
Rodney, next up. Yep. Morning, Rodney.
Morning, Rodney.
Just came at least to announce to you, I know I'd mentioned to us we were applying for a grant that was tied to the HEA 1007, which refers to the threshold that elevated blood levels are enforced and acted upon for Indiana residents and Clinton County residents. So we did receive that grant. I just got notified this last week of that. That's about just north of 50-some thousand for 2 years. It's another one of those funded for now initiatives that eventually, I don't know if that funding will be available then, but for now, we're going to see an increase in cases that we have to go out and follow up on, do assessments and management of those. So I wanted to let you know we got that money. I also was looking for permission to hire someone part-time to help with doing that. That was one of the reasons that we got the grant, was to have additional help for the public health nurse.
So the grant would fund the position
Yes,
essentially?
yes, it would
Yeah.
fund that hourly, and as well as some mileage that I put in there for them
Yeah.
to do
Yeah.
travel as well. So I have an individual who's part-time on another grant right now that's very interested in perhaps
Continuing.
doing that too. Is there any reason why we can't have her do that for us as well?
So she would essentially be full-time under the 2 grants?
It would vary. It depends on how many cases actually come up through the ID, new threshold. We projected so many, so there may be a week or two from time to time she's maybe exceeding what would be the full-time numbers, but there would be other weeks maybe she wouldn't be at all. So they'd be 2 different funding streams. I just want to make sure if that was a possibility. She's expressed interest. She has strong capabilities to do it for us, so.
I guess my first thought would be, I would be okay with that, but I think we need to confirm with HR in terms of if the threshold for full-time and part-time, and if it puts us in any other precarious situation with it.
Sure.
So, but, I mean,
Yeah,
if
can
we
she
can
wear
get that,
both hats?
if we can get that confirmation, then I'd be fine with it. I mean, that seems to make the most sense.
Yeah. I'll make a motion with confirmation from HR that Rodney move forward with the, I don't know that it's the hire, because obviously she's
Yeah,
already.
she's already on
so,
board with us. She's
but for
already
the,
bilingual, which assists us greatly with that particular.
For her fulfilling
task as well.
the second job
Yeah.
request.
Okay.
Second.
Also,
3-0.
wanted to let you know also, we worked with the Daryl Sanders, our EMA director, and did some more discussing with the State Department of Health. The current testing we're doing in the county would have ended June 30th. We did negotiate to work with Daryl and his crew and extend that to the end of August.
Okay.
To keep that available a little longer, help to envelope in the start of school in the case that we see any kind of, that being the same idea as I was saying earlier on. Once you stop doing it, it's awful hard to get it back up again, and it's probably easier to keep it as long as possible. But just wanted you to be aware of that as well, that we wanted to see if we couldn't hold down to that. There's a little bit of an uptick right now, so. And then we're looking at purchasing perhaps, if with your approval, of course, a LED light out in front, a signage board, programmable. I would assume I'd need permission from the commissioners to pursue looking at purchasing something like that.
Do you have it budgeted?
I certainly have the budget. I mean, I could put it in our budget to be able to be paid for, no problem. I just want to make sure it's not something that you folks need some sort of consideration or approval of. We've got a couple companies that have given us some bids, so.
Where would you put this?
Well, the current location we're at has a 2-column brick pillar that's out front there in the circular drive area already anyway, that already housed one or a similar sign. There's already electric out to it. I'd have probably Skiles take a look at that, but it would be affixed in between those 2 brick pillars that are already there. And we've already, I think, spoke with Don Stock in the city about what all regulations might be entailed with that as well. But again, I still think it's something I should at least seek your permission.
I'd get some quotes. That
Yeah.
way we can get an idea what
Okay.
kind of
The one
expenditure
quote-
we're talking
Yeah,
about. and
well, the
whether
one
or not-
quote I had saw that I actually, when I peeled off everything I didn't want,
Uh-huh.
was going to be about 37,000 for a double-sided one with about, I think it was 8 or so thousand for the installation.
Okay.
So
Is it something that would be movable to?
that particular one wouldn't be. It'd be affixed to that
Yeah.
particular positioning in there. And as large as it is, it would be that one quote was for 3 foot by 7 foot. So.
Okay.
So if we move your office in a year or two, or
That could be moved then, yes. It's just not one that you could probably pick up and put somewhere in a mobile situation. But
Yeah.
I would think, yeah, it would be something you could certainly relocate very easily, yeah.
okay.
So,
I would say get some quotes like
Okay.
Josh said, so
We'll
that
try to get
I
that
think
in.
we should probably approve it at that high of an expense total, but I mean, if it's within budget. then
Sure.
it'll work, so,
All
yeah.
right. Thank you very
Sounds
much.
good. All right.
Thanks, Rodney.
Thanks,
Nice
Rodney.
job.
Anyone else? Rick? Oh, okay, yeah. We'll get it signed here. Any other department heads? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to the commissioner reports. Commissioners have anything?
I do not.
Really have nothing, obviously, I've been talking with various people in reference to the solar farm, but all of those things seem to be today taken care of, or at least appeased for the hour. And, you know, I was glad to see the solar farm people come and make a little presentation, so hopefully, just you, that resolves that.
Okay. One item I have is, I had a meeting, maybe last week or the week before, on the Career Tech Child Care Center. So it's maybe bringing Bert up to speed a little bit, but the Ready Grant had applied for a Career Tech Center here in Clinton County, as well as a child care facility, and the initial thought it would be at the old Marsh building.
Yeah.
This is
Familiar
the
with that a little
schools,
bit.
and the county and the city will contribute a little bit, but the industry and the schools are kind of supposed to be taking the lead. The Marsh building fell through, so essentially at this point, it's trying to find a location for it. So that's kind of the update. There's 3 or 4 different options, looking at the feasibility and I guess the central location for all the schools to want to be involved. There's a little bit of, you know, if it's too far east or west or north or south, and people get a little upset. So that's just the only update that I really had at this point.
When did childcare get brought into it? Because originally that wasn't part of it. When Alan and I met with the schools and I don't know, Shan Sheridan and those guys, that was never mentioned. And Alan and I were pretty adamant at the time that any investment the county would make would be into a purchase, not operations.
Okay.
So that's just something to keep in mind, that's what we committed to initially. So since those variables have changed now, I would say we definitely need to take a look at it. But it's interesting to know that that's still on the table, because I hadn't heard anything about it for a while, so.
Yeah, so the Child Care Center, I believe, that was a push maybe from the industry, I think, because there's a lack of it, and so this would create 270 spots for children, and it eventually would work its way to be open 24 hours a day. It's, since it would be kind of tied to the Career Tech Center from the standpoint of those careers the industry's working on bringing some of their jobs over there to work on hands-on and learning. I think United Way got involved. There's 3 or 4 more partners now.
Okay.
Because the meeting there was Ivy Tech, United Way, Bauer. I mean, there's
Okay.
so it's kind of evolved. That was the first meeting I've been to on it, so I was kind of getting caught up. But as I get more information, I'll pass
That's
it on.
usually how it goes, it's bait and switch.
So, but that's, I'm glad you brought that up. I'll keep that in mind
Yeah.
going forward with it, so.
Jordan, I have one thing. So the Shred-it contract, I
Yes.
think you guys wanted to make sure that got terminated or didn't get renewed.
Yeah,
And so the 60 days written notice, and so we have this month to do it. I typed it up and just emailed it to Jerry.
okay.
And then I had a place for Jordan to sign and myself to sign. So I just probably do a motion to go ahead and not renew that contract.
Okay, so our Shred-it, there's just been a lot of complaints throughout the various departments, so rather
No
than
way.
renewing, let's open it up to bid and see what other options are out there. So, I'll
Motion
entertain
for-
a motion.
Motion for the president to sign on behalf of
Same
the
here.
termination.
Second, motion carries 3-0 for me to sign on the Shred-it termination, so. All right, no other reports. We will move on to claims. We have claims dated May 20th in the amount of $4,048.79. Claims dated June 3rd in the amount of $47,296.23. Biweekly claims dated June 7th in the amount of $652,717.28. And court claims dated June 7th in the amount of $40,377.26.
Motion to approve claims.
Second.
Motion carries 3-0. We have payroll. We have Board of Health payroll dated May 20th in the amount of $831.95. And we have payroll dated May 20th in the amount of $440,023.23. Entertain a motion.
So moved. Second.
Motion carries 3-0. Lastly, we have minutes, regular minutes dated May 16th, executive minutes dated May 27th, and administrative meeting minutes dated May 27th.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion carries 3-0. Is there any other business that needs to come before the commissioners?